I'm going to develop that concept now into how you would show and record if you were using money. So I'm not going to use money, I'm still going to use my base 10, but you can see that I've now got a different base plate. So this column is now my ones. I've got a decimal point to show that everything this side of that column is now less than 1. That's my tenths, that's my hundredths. I'm still going to use my base 10, but this time I'm going to make that represent a unit. And if I divide that by 10 in this column, I'm going to represent that with those and with that straight, and this column will be represented with that. And that's because the children need to understand that every column is 10 times smaller if you're going that way, or 10 times bigger if you're going that way. So you can still use the same equipment to explain the principle. And what they should find by the end of this is they're doing exactly the same thing. So if that's my units, and I'm saying my units this time is going to be pounds, I want to do an addition. So I'm going to do £2.46, add £1.80. Let's do 9. Okay, so we've moved into money. So your digits are still in columns, one after the other. That just delineates that this number is less than 1. The same principles work. So you could go through using the equipment in exactly the same way that we did it before, putting the equipment on and exchanging and so on. But I'm going to assume now that they've had enough practice of that. They understand that we've exchanged the values of the equipment to different values. And I'm no longer going to use this equipment. I'm just going to explain how you do it to a child without the equipment. But of course, because they've had a lot of practice, they can visualize what that equipment is doing. So in their head, they can see it, they'll imagine moving it, they'll imagine manipulating it. So 6 hundredths plus 9 hundredths. I'm going to use my number bonds. So this is adjusting. So I know that 10 and 6 is 16, and it's 1 less, so it's going to be 15, and it's 15 hundredths. So I'm going to put the 5 hundredths there, and I know that 10 hundredths is going to be the same as 1/10 because it's all multiplying by 10. So the 10 hundredths are going to go there. And obviously if they're unsure, you'd get the equipment back out again and show it to them. So now I'm going to add my tenths. So I know that 8 add 2 is 10, so it's another 2 to make 12. So what I'm doing is splitting that. I'm using my bonds to 4. So you're using bonds to and within 10 all the time. So that's 12 plus another tenth. So altogether 12 tenths. So I'm going to put my 2 tenths there, and I know that 10 tenths is the same as 1 whole number. So I'm going to put my 1 whole number there, pop your decimal point in. So you need to keep saying the decimal point doesn't make any difference to the process. It just tells you something. So it's always 10 times bigger. And now my ones, so 2, 3, 4. They need to do lots of practice of that so that they can understand that that decimal point isn't actually affecting the process that they're going through. And that if at any point they don't understand it, go back to the equipment, get it out and model it for them so that they get it.